Hello John, welcome to my Barnaby's cottage. Welcome in, let's talk things Fulham. Alright John, so I've been working hard. You can come around here, you can see I've been doing a lot of renovating on the house. Hasn't been done since the 80s, so it's needed a lot of work. And you can see there's a lot of dead wood. And maybe we can have a little chat about dead wood, Fulham, times are changing, time not standing still, and just have a little chat about how things have been going so far this season, back in the Premiership. Well, we've done these colours in light blue and white, which is actually the Man City colours. They beat us 2-0 yesterday, and I didn't manage to see the game, but I was following it, and it looked like we were outdone by a team who do what Slav wants us to do, but they just do it. One of the best in Europe at doing that style of game, and unfortunately it was never going to be our day on the night, and I don't think we had too many chances. But yeah, that wasn't ever going to be the game to kickstart our season, but it's all about Huddersfield on Monday. That's the really big one. That could be the start of something big, or it could be the end for Slav. This is my dad's old shed, but actually we're going to be renovating it. It's already got a flag from Burnley. They've got the honesty bins, which I didn't realise until after the game, but this has made its way onto the shed. So the plan is, moving forward, just be careful where you're stepping actually. This is going to be my own personal shrine to Fulham. We're going to have lots of pictures. We're going to have the big telly there, which I'm going to be watching the Fulham games that I can't get to. And just memories from Wembley earlier this year, and just express in here my love for Fulham Football Club. It has been almost a nightmare start. There's no getting around it. Letting in the 28 goals, it's just not great, and I think we had a style that really worked for us in the Championship, but it's just that step up in pace and step up in intensity. I think if we were playing in Spain or Germany or Holland, probably France as well, our style of play would be, you know, upper mid-table. But in the Premiership, they have that physicality, and what I think we need to look back to, which is something that we had to do in the Championship, because we went down 4 seasons ago, and we had to just get back to basics. It wasn't pretty. We had to have 2 flat banks of 4, and you know, it's not long since we've had players like Ryan Tunnicliffe, Spearman, you know, players who are, you know, workmen and not necessarily with the glamour. And you know, you're hearing some Fulham fans saying it's time for someone like Big Sam to come in, which is just the opposite of what Slav's been doing at the club. And in a way, you know, you can say with Slav, that's what he needs to instill in the team pretty quick. Huddersfield are going to be up for a scrap on Monday. You know, they've just got a draw with Burnley, and you look at their those two clubs. They're well organised, they're well drilled, they're very fit, they don't overplay it, they're direct, and you know, Huddersfield will come at us and they'll hound us. I think the lowest point of the season so far has been that Cardiff game. You know, I was watching that and I just thought, you know, it was to let in the 4 goals so soft. You know, I don't think, me personally, I'd like Chambers back in the side anytime soon. He seems to be, you know, 3 or 4 massive mistakes that leads to goals every single game. Positionally, he's completely off, but I mean, you've got to look at, I mean, it's so well publicised, we've become a bit of a laughing stock defensively. So
why is everyone criticising Chambers? He hasn't played that often, but everyone seems to have got it in for him, Barnaby. Why?
He hasn't hit the ground running, and to be honest, I don't know what does he bring. You know, positionally, you know, has he got the presence? Is he that quick? You know, going to a club like Arsenal, you know, that gives you a certain status, but actually it doesn't make you. You know, we've had other players from them before, like Philip Senderos. You know, he was never great shakes. You know, that was part of our decline back when we were.
But if you're looking at his CV, he's played in Champions League, Europa League. Yeah. He's played in a relegation team, Middlesbrough, and he's played for England.
Yeah, he's still a young player, but at the moment we need big personalities in the squad, and for a young developing player, I just don't know if he's you know, if he's got that maturity about him. And at the moment we need big players with big personalities, leaders who are going to pull up the defence and really organise and pull them up by the scruff of their boots.
Because when we did the video before the season, Barnaby, you were really happy about the signings.
Yeah. To be honest, I think our squad is still, you know, on paper, it's still looking like a mid-table squad for me, and a squad that could really flourish. It's just injuries, Mawson, you know, I've heard a lot of good things about Mawson, and there's been, I've seen him a couple of games. I saw him have his debut at Exeter. I was really close to the pitch for that game, and he looks like a solid, you know, meat and potatoes English defender, which is what we needed to get. But it's just, is he fit enough, and is he going to be fit enough in time for us to really push on? Schürrle's goal against Cardiff was disgusting. You know, Seri had a really good start to the season, but has he dropped off in quality since that mistake against City? I'm not sure. He's a different player when Tom Kearney comes back, and at the moment that seems to be, you know, we are Team Kearney, and we need to get him back into the side. But do we over rely on him? Is he going to make the difference for us? It's, you know, time will tell.
What do you think needs to be done for Monday?
I think we need to get back to basics. I think we need to have a more direct style, because I think teams have found us out that if they sit back and let us come on, probably the most alarming thing for us as fans is to see the lack of pace in our attack. That, you know, we had a lot of free time last season to just pass the ball to death, but also found those moments where we could put the killer pass in. But Ryan Sessegnon, I think, has been probably our best player of the season so far, but even he seems to have dropped pace-wise. He's not making the runs that he did last year. He's playing a little bit within himself. So I'd like to see a little bit more directness, and I'd like to see a bit more of defensive solidity. All right, John, so this kitchen hadn't been renovated since the 80s. A few things didn't work in there, and we've just gutted it. We've put in a whole new kitchen. I've been doing it mostly myself, but as you can see, it's sparkly and new. I've been working almost as hard as Alexander Mitrovic, our star striker, who, if you watch him at the moment, he's trying to play everywhere of the pitch. He's getting to the end of every defensive corner. He's playing in the midfield. He's all over the shop. So I've been a little bit inspired by him to get this done and sorted. Slav's been the best manager since Roy Hodgson at this football club. Probably, you know, that run that we had last season will go down in Fulham history. But you know, time doesn't stop, and he has to adapt or he has to move on. That's going to be the reality eventually. It doesn't matter how we feel about it, because, you know, the Premiership is not the Championship. And I think I said to you I was going to miss the Championship. I love the Championship, and in a way it's not just about not being as a competitive team, but it's also the fans and the whole feel of the games, you know. He's in trouble at the moment, but it's under those moments of pressure that managers learn about themselves. You know, it's make or break. Can he pull something out of the bag? I think he definitely still can. He's definitely still got the time to do it, and a big win against Huddersfield could be the kickstart. You know, if we can then get a draw at one of the teams, like, you know, we've got some big games, Liverpool away, Chelsea away, United away. You've got to look at Southampton as being a game that we've got to be competitive at. But there needs to be, you need to set an amount of points that we're going to get out of those games, and we're going to need some points. But Huddersfield are, you know, we can't have another repeat of Cardiff. You know, we can't have a repeat of Cardiff, because that would really put us in trouble, I think, over the season.
From what I saw last night, I'm more optimistic. I think we'll start with most of what started last night, and Huddersfield are no Man City, so big, strong, robust side, so a bit like Cardiff play, I would imagine. But they're not scoring goals, same as we thought Cardiff weren't scoring. We shall see. I'm optimistic we'll come back from there with something. The thing is, if you lose to Cardiff and lose to Huddersfield, then the writing's on the wall, really, isn't it? But there is a mini league at the bottom. You've got the bottom 2, and then the next 6 are within one of each other. So we're not out there on our own. So people shouldn't be panicking now. Long way to go. Long way to go.
I fear the worst, I'm afraid. I think Huddersfield haven't scored at home all season. Our goals up front seem to have dried up a little bit. I think confidence is really low. I think it depends who wants it more on Monday night. And Monday night up north, weather a little colder than we've been used to. I think there's every possibility that we'll get beaten.
It's normally early in the season to talk about a must-win game, but it is a must-win game. You know, Bournemouth has put more pressure on. We will always score goals, or we can do. It's a question of how we set up when we haven't got the ball, and everybody, especially the midfield, have to learn how to set up when we haven't got the ball. They've got physical players, and they've got some very good and underrated players. When you look at Aaron Moy, he could have well ended up here, which he was allegedly on our want list. He's a decent player, he would have done a good job for us. They've been criticised for what they've got up front. On paper, quite good. We need a strong Fulham side to turn up. And the critical thing is not going forward and keeping the ball and creating chances. It's what we do when we haven't got the ball. Defenders can make a mistake and they'll often get punished at this level, but you know, when they've got swarms coming at them and midfield aren't providing any screen or barrier to try and stop that or slow it down, we're on a hide into nothing. It's flip a coin. Know where my heart is, which won't surprise anyone, but in my head it says flip a coin.